Hey everybody, what's going on? Mav here. Um, just wanted to go live for a little impromptu discussion. I just got home from work a little bit ago and been thinking about some things when I was driving, and also been seeing some things on Twitter the last couple days, and just this endless talk about this subject. So I'm gonna add more. Why not? Why not add more endless talk to this subject? It keeps on going, and I want to have this as a open discussion a little bit. If you want to chime in the chat with some thoughts, that's cool too. Because this is live. I'm not making a video on it. I'm just going live with these thoughts. Okay. So there's been a lot of debate on Twitter, especially these last couple days. I saw my man Italian Clowns made a tweet yesterday. It's up, Marion. How are you doing? And it sparked a lot of debate and attention on Twitter. Nothing toxic, just good discussion, right? And I wanted to kind of chime in with some of my thoughts on what he had to say, and also um, what some other people have been saying about this topic, and also kind of my thoughts on it. Now, I think in March, hey Goat Force, how are you doing? I think in March we are going to get some kind of event, because I think the deal is going to be closed in March. So that's this month. It is now the first. So I think this month this deal is going to be final. I think we're going to have an answer to a lot of our questions regarding Xbox, exclusivity, Bethesda, and this huge deal, right? Clowns on Twitter yesterday had said that he doesn't actually think they're going to be exclusive to the Xbox platform. And what he means by that is, I think he means that they will also be on PlayStation, right? Whereas exclusivity, a lot of people can take as, hey, if it's on PC and other stuff as well, then it's not necessarily exclusive. To me, exclusive these days, like, I think PC would almost be a given for most games now, and it just comes to like Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, right? Like, what's exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem, to the PlayStation ecosystem, to the Nintendo ecosystem. And I think that that's what exclusivity these days means to me. And you can have timed exclusive, you can have on long-term exclusivity, you can have forever exclusivity, right? Now, because these Bethesda games have all been multi-platform for so long, it has been a hot topic, because it's not every day that we have a huge acquisition in the gaming industry like Bethesda ZeniMax, where it has large repercussions on all platforms. But this does. I mean, even Skyrim is out on every platform right now. There's even VR. So, you got Fallout is on, I think, pretty much everything as well. So you have a lot of platforms that are affected by this. And I see where Clowns himself was going with what he said, thinking that maybe Microsoft would just rather go ahead and make the money on selling those games to all those other platforms, because they are such popular IPs like Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, all those things. But I can't say for sure that's what's going to happen. I think, me personally, I think, if I don't care if they're exclusive, because it doesn't affect me in any way, because I'm going to get to play them because I have an Xbox, right? If somebody gets to play it on PlayStation, it doesn't affect me at all, right? I get to play the game on Xbox, and you know what? Most likely it's going to be in Game Pass, right? Whether it's Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6 or Doom or any of those games, most likely they're going to be in Game Pass, and on other platforms it won't be unless they allow Game Pass on their platforms, right? So as far as that goes, it doesn't affect me at all, right? So I don't really care. Now, do I think Xbox is going to make these games multi-platform? I would say probably not. Now, here's why I'm saying that. Because of the Game Pass model and the attractiveness of these franchises, and also the ability for Xbox to have, via Game Pass, widely spread accessibility to these games without having to be on PlayStation, I think they will go that route to drive Game Pass subscription. So if anybody in the chat wants to drop in an opinion on this, feel free. But I really, truly do believe that they will be exclusive. Maybe not every game, like some people were saying, like the games of service type games, like we already have Elder Scrolls Online. I don't necessarily think it's going to be Elder Scrolls Online 2. I think it's going to be an ongoing thing. I think Fallout 76 is still going to exist in some form. They're going to keep reiterating it, trying to get it to turn into something. Those style of games, I think it makes sense to have on as many platforms as possible because they're driven on microtransactions and all those kind of things, right? They already have a fan base that's an ongoing thing on those platforms. They're not going to take it away from them. But new games from these top tier franchises, you're going to see exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem, in my opinion, to drive people to subscribe to Game Pass. Even if they have only a PlayStation, they can still subscribe to Game Pass and play on their TV with a streaming app, right? And that's going to be more common in the coming years. To get a trial for Game Pass and hey, go that route to try it out. Now, once all these games start rolling, you're gonna see a lot of entry points to Game Pass with all of these different titles. How's it going, Pong? So my mindset is that they will be exclusive for the most part, and I'm sorry if that upsets some people, right? That are playing on other platforms that are going to be sad to see those games. But it just, for me, it makes the most business sense. I would honestly, if you're asking what I would like to see, I would honestly probably like to see less exclusivity all around and more games on more platforms. Like if I could play Spider-Man on my Xbox, I would definitely do that. You know what I mean? If I could play Uncharted on my Xbox, I would be happy to do that. But we can't. So is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. But it doesn't benefit PlayStation players to have it as an exclusive. Just like it doesn't benefit Xbox players to have Halo as an exclusive in any kind of way. I don't think there's a tangible benefit that improves the experience necessarily. What's up? Yeah, that's cool, Pong. Yeah, just doing an impromptu, man. And what's up, Black Card? So Goat Force Gaming says, I don't know, Phil seems to want everyone to play great games. His motto is when we all play, we all win mantra. His when we all play, we all win mantra that we've seen in the past. But there's a business side to all this too, right? And that's the other side of this. That yes, that is kind of the mantra, but at the same time, he's got to look out for Microsoft and what is in the best interest of Microsoft, and to keep his vision alive. Having widespread availability is still part of that with the accessibility into Game Pass. You're going to see more and more devices. By the time there's an impact with these games that are going to be dropping in next year and the year after that and the year after that, Game Pass is going to be on more devices and in platforms than now, for sure. You're going to see it on more TVs built in. You're going to see this rumored Xbox streaming stick available. xCloud is going to be better than it even is now. It's going to keep improving. Internet connections are going to keep improving. So as far as all that goes, I think that it's more viable to get a good experience via the cloud. And if all you want to play is your PlayStation exclusive and have a PlayStation game, and if Elder Scrolls comes out and you don't want to miss out on it, you know what? You can just get a subscription to Game Pass on one of those devices and enjoy it that way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on mobile. It can be on your TV screen. It can be on your PC. What's up, 3-Bit? How's it going? So Phil, as 3-Bit says, Phil's wanting everyone to play everywhere doesn't mean he's going to freely give money to Nintendo and Sony. He's underneath Microsoft. His way of expanding the reach is doing so underneath several devices. At 100% is exactly what I'm saying, 3-Bit. My Xbox Ultimate brothers have been making an appearance in the chat. I love that. That's exactly what I'm saying. You don't have to be on PlayStation's platform to reach those gamers. Those gamers have access still to play the Xbox games via Game Pass on other devices. They don't even need to own an Xbox. And that's only going to continue to expand and grow. Whereas a lot of people only see things as they are right now. I think you also have to look to the way that the technology is going for the future and the way that people are going to be accessing games more and more. And that is going to be driven by exclusive games into that type of ecosystem, not being stuck necessarily on boxes that only strictly focus on hardware sales. Hey, KTX Games, what's going on, man? I appreciate you stopping by. So that's kind of my input on it. Now, do I celebrate this? Like, hey, is it a good thing for me in any way that Xbox, I think, is going to be exclusive with those types of games? No, not really. I mean, I would like if somebody that has a PlayStation says I want to go spend $70 to play a game that I enjoy, or $60, hey, if that's the way of them accessing something and their preferred method, I'm all for that. And I think options are great for everybody. I don't necessarily think there's a reason to necessarily have exclusive things anymore, except for the platform holders as a tool to drive business. And that's the thing that doesn't change. That's what hurts. That's what hurt Google Stadia. That's what is going to hurt Amazon Luna if they don't get things figured out with that, is you got to have those exclusive experiences to drive the business, to drive people to the ecosystem you're trying to get them into. And a huge investment from Xbox into Bethesda is a big asset to have to drive those subscribers to the ecosystem you're trying to pull them into. What's up, Crazy Greek Dude? You say you don't care because you'll play it where you want. If it is exclusive, you're still going to play it. Yeah, that's true too. If it's exclusive to PlayStation, I'm going to play on PlayStation. If it's exclusive to Xbox, I'm going to play it on Xbox. Does it do anything for me either way? No. Right now, I currently don't have a PlayStation. I will again, and I'll catch up on these games I'm missing right now that are exclusive to PlayStation. If guys want to experience the stuff on the Xbox, they can experience them over here. Personally, I would like if everything was, I guess, more open and everybody could play wherever they want, but that's really not the reality that we live in, right? So I would love to play my Nintendo games on my Xbox, right? I would like to play the Switch games on Xbox. I would like to play Xbox games on Switch. I would like to play PlayStation games on Switch. I would like to play Nintendo games on PlayStation. I'd like to play PlayStation games on Xbox and Xbox games on PlayStation. And I would like to have access to PC games through the Xbox as well. I would like a Steam front store in the Xbox to be able to access those games, whether you're streaming them to the Xbox and playing them remotely that way or whatever. Like, access to your games wherever you are is, I think, where the future's going. and it's only going to be time that is going to prevent that from happening. It's gonna get there eventually. And when people all said the one console future, that's kind of what it actually lends to, is accessibility through all different devices. Now, will platforms still make their games? Yes, to drive people to their ecosystems and have some form of exclusivity, possibly. But I want to have access everywhere. That's just what I want. That's not saying that's what I think is happening. I think what's happening is the opposite right now, in the time being. Can we not have nice things, you say? Now, KTX Games says, I agree when they say they don't want to take games away from people. That is because Game Pass will be running on your toaster oven soon enough. They want to push Game Pass, not game sales. 100%. Their metric of success is not going to be necessarily on hardware or software sales. It's going to be on subscription numbers. It's going to be on how many subscribers do we have the Game Pass right now and in the future, and how many are we gaining per month? How many are we gaining per year? How much did we gain after this launch of this title, right? Because Game Pass is also, some people aren't going to buy the game because of Game Pass, like me. I would normally buy a lot of those games, but I'm not going to because I get access via Game Pass. So the sales metric is going to be interesting on a lot of the titles and also the hardware, because with more ways of accessing things, PC, mobile devices, set-top boxes, and if people are not super hardcore, they don't necessarily care about playing at the highest resolution, the highest frames per second, or don't mind the latency or that comes with streaming and stuff, then hey, guess what? People are still going to be playing those games on other devices. The hardware cells and the software cells don't count. So exclusivity, yes, I think it's happening because of Game Pass. I don't. The only way I could foresee that not happening would be if Game Pass is so successful. It's just doing so good, right? And it is inconsequential to release the games on other hardware, and you do just reap the little bit of benefit from the sales on that platform. Because Game Pass is still a win, right? Daddy? So, hey, baby. So yes. Hold 1 second, guys. That was my amazing daughter. That's a little mini speculation there. Uh, she wasn't feeling that great earlier today. She's feeling better now, as you can clearly see. So super happy about that. Crazy Greek dude says, Game Pass will be the only streaming service these games will be on. As for hardware, exclusive up to Microsoft. Yeah, 100% on that too, man. Like I said, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, those kind of experiences I would expect to see on multiple platforms, because that's just what they're for, right? Like, you could say Sea of Thieves is similar, right, to that, and they didn't release that on PlayStation, obviously, so maybe eventually it could go over there as well. I wouldn't be against it. But currently, that's the model. They didn't make that multi-plat, so why would they a new one? I don't know. There's so much room for like thought on this, but I think we're gonna get some answers really soon, guys. I think we're gonna get some answers coming up here in March at whatever the rumored event is. So I don't know. Doom, man, when they if they announce the next Doom game and they say it's exclusive on Xbox and PC, then there's going to be a lot of upset people out there. If they announce the next Elder Scrolls game and they say it's exclusive to Xbox and PC, there's going to be a lot of upset people out there. If they say they're going to announce the next Wolfenstein, then there's going to be a lot of upset people. That Indiana Jones game, there's going to be a lot of upset people, you know, because it's not just like, hey, one franchise, you announce it and it's exclusive. It's like this whole plethora of things. So, but yeah, I think it's going to happen, and I think people are going to have to accept that. I don't think people are wrong for necessarily think the opposite. I think it's open. I could be completely wrong because my heart wants the opposite, right? My heart wants less exclusivity and more people to be able to play, and we all play together, and less fanboy stuff and less arguing about what's better, this or that. More better deals for gamers. That's what I want, right? So hopefully that wins, right? Yeah, GoForce says there'll be a lot of people buying PCs. Either that or hopefully subscribing to Game Pass is what Xbox is wanting, right? So if you look at these studios, okay, we got ZeniMax Online. They're makers of Elder Scrolls Online. They're working on something else now. Bethesda Game Studios. This is the big daddy, right? Elder Scrolls Morrowind, Elder Scrolls Morrowind, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, just the big mecha games, right? That's the makers, I believe, of Starfield, right? And when that's actually revealed to be an Xbox exclusive, possibly, then again, that's going to upset a lot of people. Right now, they've been releasing stuff for as many platforms as possible. Like we said, Fallout 4 is on VR. You know, they had Skyrim on the Switch. You know, it's going to be interesting. id, you got. I mean, they were responsible for Quake and the old school Wolfenstein and Doom and the new Doom games, and whatever they make, they're gonna be exclusive to Xbox. Arcane, right now they have a game coming out that's going to be a timed exclusive on PlayStation because the deal was already in the works. PlayStation was making deals with third-party companies to bolster their lineup. That's what PlayStation's got to do to compete with the fact that Xbox is acquiring all these studios. PlayStation, unfortunately, doesn't have the same value that Xbox has to be able to bring in all these studios. They don't have the funds like Xbox has, so they can't just like buy all these massive companies at $7.5 billion, right? Like it's just not really realistic for them. So Sony's been making all those third-party deals, right? And we see it with some other games that they have coming out. And one of those games that they had made the deal on was Deathloop, coming out from Arcane, makers of the Dishonored games and Prey. So that game is going to be timed exclusive. I think it's for a year. After that, guess what? Coming to Game Pass, and it's coming to Xbox. If there's a Deathloop 2, probably just coming to Xbox. Machine Games, they're making Indiana Jones, they make the Wolfenstein games. Guess what? Those games are probably exclusive to Xbox. Tango Gameworks, Ghostwire Tokyo. That is another one of those third-party deals that PlayStation made. That game is going to be timed exclusive on PlayStation until their contract's up. Then it's coming to probably Game Pass and Xbox. And then if there's a Ghostwire Tokyo 2, probably going to be exclusive to Xbox. Evil Within could come out, I believe. And that could probably be also exclusive to Xbox going forward. And you also have Alpha Dog Games. They've been making mobile games, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. Then you got Roundhouse Studios, and Roundhouse is kind of interesting because hey, they're a new development studio opened in 2019, and they have a name Roundhouse. We don't know what kind of games they're going to be making, but they came from developers of a different studio. But the developers at Roundhouse Studios represent more than 2 decades working together on a variety of games and genres, including RPGs, shooters, action adventure games, and more. What's going on, Rick Payne? So, hey, Roundhouse Studios, they could be a big name in gaming in the future. We don't know that yet. So, but they're going to be exclusive. I think so. That's what I believe. I don't necessarily think like Clowns was wrong. I don't think a lot of people in the Twitter feeds that were having those comments were wrong for having those opinions. It's just I differ in mine. I think a little bit. See if I can find exactly what was said. Bear with me real quick. Okay, so this got a lot of, the reason I was bringing this up on his, because it got a lot of attention, and and he got some interesting comments and stuff, but he said, I don't think Bethesda games will be exclusive to Xbox, and the reason for this is market share. Xbox has the choice. Keep it locked to Xbox and hope people buy an Xbox or play on PC, or make it multi-plat knowing the revenue is there across the market. So, like, for me personally, and my response to this was I think Game Pass would still grow as those games would be $60 to $70 on PlayStation and be on Game Pass on Xbox, which is a value incentive for people to choose the Xbox brand. However, business-wise, it makes even more sense to go exclusive with most of those titles to drive faster growth to Game Pass. So yeah, I don't think it'll best be a huge detriment if they don't go exclusive, but I think it makes more sense to go exclusive. Colt Eastwood said Xbox made almost 30 exclusivity deals for the first half of this generation. They want exclusive content, either purchased or service-based rented games. Kid Smooth says Xbox needs Game Pass subs. Starfield on PS4, PS5 will not increase Game Pass subscriptions. A lot of interesting thoughts on this. PK says, I humbly disagree, my friend. Game Pass is the new element. The revenue will always be there on PC, but Game Pass will make more sense to both PC plus Xbox platformers. 18 million subs, $1 bill. Remember that as Phil's vision. I agree with PK there. I think, as Paul says, I think bigger games will at least be timed exclusives to the Xbox ecosystem. That's another factor they could do, is they could go with a timed exclusive model where not only is it on Game Pass, but it's also a timed exclusive, and then later maybe those games go to PlayStation. That's a thought. It could happen. Rick Payne is asking a question in the chat. He says, WTF is Elden Ring? I saw some leaks, and it's been all over Twitter. If it's hard like the other Souls games, hell nah to that. I'm not a huge Souls game fan, but this is like a major RPG, I think, based in that kind of Souls playstyle. So I don't know exactly. excuse me, what the Elden Ring is going to be like, but people have been really excited and waiting for a reveal of that, and we could potentially have some more information soon, especially with these leaks that have been hitting today. So Crazy Greek Dude says PC and Xbox is large enough to not need Sony. Business-wise, you want to grow and draw people to Game Pass. 100% agree. Like, they don't need Sony. It would, like, they want some of the Sony people to sign up for Game Pass and play on a different platform. Unless Sony ever would allow Game Pass on the PlayStation, right? But that's not going to happen. So, they would rather those people that are like diehard Sony guys go get a free trial to Game Pass on PC or on get an Xbox Series S for $299 or get a trial for a streaming stick subscription to Game Pass and stream it or something like that. You know, there's a lot of other options that's going to be available. Yeah. And again, Crazy Greek Dude, it makes a lot of sense to make it exclusive, but in the end, the decision will not affect me. It won't affect me either. And in fact, if you're an Xbox gamer, and this is the thing to remember, involving this exclusivity topic, is if you're an Xbox gamer and that's your primary platform of choice, with this deal, Xbox buying Bethesda ZeniMax, you have already won. You have already won in this situation because of Game Pass. Because these games will be available through Game Pass and you won't have to purchase them. All of these games are going to be in Game Pass. And on one platform, $70, $60, whatever they end up charging for those. And on the other, it's just part of your subscription. So regardless of whether we think, hey, they need to be exclusive, or hey, they got to be on all platforms to be able to make the money work, who cares? We won with that as an Xbox gamer. We already won. They're going to be dropping those games on Game Pass and we get to play them. So guess who saved money? Me. You, as a Game Pass subscriber, you saved money because guess what? You were probably going to buy a Doom game. You're probably going to buy a Fallout game. You're probably going to buy Elder Scrolls. You're probably going to buy a Wolfenstein. You're probably going to buy all that stuff. But now, guess what? You don't have to. You're already going to get access to it. And if you even did decide you wanted to go and support Microsoft even further, and you are a person that believes in purchasing games, if you have Game Pass subscription and you go and buy that game, guess what? You get a discount. You get the game cheaper on Xbox. You win either way. No matter what, with Xbox buying Bethesda ZeniMax, you have won as an Xbox gamer. It doesn't matter if it's exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem and PlayStation guys have to pay $60 or $70 to play the game. It doesn't matter. If that's what they decide, I'm okay with that. I'm happy for them to be able to buy the game and get to play it because we already won with that situation. So, hey guys, have fun. Play the games. They're going to be in Game Pass. So, hell yeah. Yeah, 2020, cheapest year in gaming ever, says Crazy Greek Dude. Leonidas says most Bethesda games are day one buys for me most of the time. Same here, dude. I buy almost every Bethesda game day one. I even bought Fallout 76 day one. That was a mistake. That's probably the most broken mess they've released on launch ever. But hey, it's supposed to be better now. I'm going to probably check in on it again at some time. But do I let that worry me about Starfield and all these other games? No, that was a different game made by a different team trying to milk that Fallout license to bring it as a games of service and see if they could make a bunch of money off of it and stuff. It just wasn't working, but Todd Howard has a deep passion for these big RPGs. It's like Starfield, Skyrim, Fallout. I mean, that's what he does, and that's the kind of games he likes to make. This has been a passion project for him with Starfield, and I am super excited to get it. So, Leonidas says, I didn't touch Fallout 76, even though I'm a huge Fallout fan and never wanted a multiplayer Fallout in the Fallout 4 engine. Yeah. I hear you, dude. I hear you, man. Yeah, I'm curious like what it's like if I was to hop into it now, but I would only do it if I had some other friends to play it with. Because that experience playing by myself wasn't very good, you know. But look at this Doom gameplay on the screen, by the way, guys. It's just like this is gonna be probably exclusive to Xbox. It's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be, like I said, there's gonna be a lot of upset people. Now this is already, you know, this is like the expansion, I think, is what they're talking about here. But I'm talking about new Doom games. Or hey, maybe the next id game will be another Rage or something else all entirely. Who knows? Pong Soul says, short term, I am right, but Xbox does need people to continue to subscribe in big numbers to make their vision work and continue long term. So another way, it does have importance. Well, you're right. You're right there. It has importance as long as like if it was a detriment to them actually um gaining subs and it kind of killed off Game Pass by making the games non-exclusive, then that would be have been a mistake at that point. But I don't know. Like for me, like I said, I think they're going to be exclusive because I agree with you. It makes more business sense, and it has importance basically from a business side, and that's why I agree with you that I think they're going to be exclusive. But I was just talking about me from a personal level, where whether I care, like I feel like they took something away from me or not. You know, a lot of people think like, oh, like let's say like Halo was to go on be playable on PlayStation, there'd be a lot of upset people, right? There would be a lot of people that would be a hard pill to swallow that PlayStation guys get to play Halo. You know, like how dare they? You know, how dare they allow PlayStation guys to play Halo? You know, me, I'd be like, hey, there's more guys to play with. But friends that have a PlayStation that hadn't been able to play with them before because we chose different platforms to play on, get to play with them. That's how I feel about it, right? But that's just me. So same Leo. Yeah, then I'm happy either way. All right, take it easy, KTX. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. There's just a little impromptu thing here. I just wanted to talk about it. Get some of your thoughts in the chat. Hang out for a minute. Just say what's up. I might be streaming some games in a little while. Pong Soul, you say you get that and agree. Just a portion of you personally does care because you want to see them succeed and continue into the future. Yeah, I get that. I get that. So if like you feel like, hey, if they make a mistake, it could cause problems in the future, and that's why, you know, you would care about that. I get that. That makes sense. Crispy Rambo says if Halo went to PlayStation, Sony would try and pay to make it a Sony exclusive. Well, they'd have to pay Xbox a heck of a lot of money to make that happen. I don't think they even have the amount of money to possible. Yeah, because you like Game Pass selfishly, Pong Soul. I do too, man. I think Game Pass is the best thing to happen to video games in my entire life. Ever since they came out, it's the best new thing that's ever been. So that's just how I honestly feel because I play so many more different games because of Game Pass. I don't have to worry about the regret of a purchase, you know, of something sucking, you know, you know, it's just the great things stand out, the bad stuff don't worry about, you know, like try it, you don't like it, move on. Amazing thing that they did with Game Pass. Yeah, no, Leonidas 100%. Can you imagine having Game Pass when I was a kid? Mine would have been blown. Yeah, but the kids these days have it and they don't realize what they have. When they get that new console for Christmas or whatever and they boot it up and they already have access to hundreds of games. That would be a dream, as a kid. These kids have it, they don't realize what they got. They don't realize what they got. They don't realize that this is like crazy, that this is mind blowing, that this is like I can play all these games like you remember when you were a kid and you went to like Toys R Us or Funko Land or wherever the game shop was, Target, Walmart, or Best Buy, or anywhere, and you went to the video game section and you just sit there and you saw all those games. Just sitting, especially at Toys R Us, they had the wall with all the games, like with the box art on the sleeve, and you had to take the little slip and go to the magic window where you turned it in, and they brought you your game, right? Imagine that wall of games that was a dream for you to get to play. Remember, it was a special trip to go to Toys R Us, and you got to pick one. You got to pick one that time, and maybe in a couple months you get to go back and pick out another one, right? Imagine that whole wall of games having access to play just through a simple subscription. Crazy. But that's the reality we live in. All right, guys. Well, I will be streaming something. I don't know exactly what. Maybe some Warzone, maybe some Apex Legends, maybe some Division 2, something. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll see. But I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for stopping by and having this Mav chat. It's been real. You guys are awesome. Bye.